Hey guys, this is Jay with another Warmachine Steamforged update. That's right. I know everyone's probably sick, at least our regulars might be sick of all the recent Warmachine content. But the boys over at Steamforged, I just delivered a nugget of news as they said they would. This being Thursday, just me today. I'm Jay, and Chris is he's off today, so I thought I'd make a little video for all our fans and all of you that continue to watch us every week. For some reason, we do have some non-Warmachine content ready-made. It's gonna come in the next couple days or in the next week. So we have been kind of busy doing some other content. Normally it's like 2 videos a week, sometimes 3. This week is kind of got more news than usual. So what I have here is just kind of a bit of a printout of all the things that Steamforged announced today. Maybe you've seen it already on the Reddits or the internets. But I decided today, being the massive show that I am, that we do need to address this a bit. Get the views and the clicks and all that junk. So yeah, let's just hopefully not make this too rambly or too long. I'm gonna put on the eyes here so I can see. I didn't need these until like last year, but there you go. They're all getting older. So starts off with the first bit says entering the Iron Kingdoms. Basically blah blah blah. It's a great setting, really cool. One of the main reasons that they acquired, I guess, this IP. They love the IP. So really nicely written things about like, we have a deep and abiding love for the setting and games, especially Warmachine, throughout our team. Our company name isn't total coincidence. That's nice. Over the last decade, we've gained valuable experience and learned many important lessons that equip us for this. I think that's a nice little sentence there among the others. So that's kind of the first bit, kind of starting off. Then we get into the mission, and the first topic is Warmachine. So basically they're trying to say, it's like they're talking to a group of investors, i.e. the customers, and they're basically saying, the first line says, the latest version of Warmachine is in strong position, trying to use these like really positive, kind of sounding, not doom and gloom, just, hey, look, it's really good, don't worry about it. The rules are clean and tight, while the characters and units released, brackets so far, are landing in the sweet spot of playability, layered options, balance, fun, etc. The minis are enjoyable to paint and play with, and the current narrative is nuanced and engaging. Okay, cool. And it says, as we've said in our answers on socials, the current edition of Warmachine will continue as planned, with private press development team in place and the support of our team. So essentially what they're going to do is keep it running, like keep that project going, the Mark IV project, with the current, keeping all those private press people employed, the designers, rules writers. They want to make sure that whatever was in the pipe is still going to be in the pipe, because remember, these miniature companies, the pipe is not like something that you just turn on and make a thing tomorrow. It's everything that comes out today has been sketched, drawn, sculpted, approved months and months, sometimes years ago. So often, you can take a look at a brand new release and it might be stamped, 2023 or 2022 for even, it depends on what it is. So that's good. So they're again talking to the customers / investors, saying, hey, if you're still consuming our product, thank you, and we're going to keep stuff coming out, because we said that, we have that commitment to do that. And don't worry. So I think that's good. So then they kind of try and talk about how they're going to use their I don't know what you call it, logistical might, financial might, to use, they've got more distribution, they've got more resources, so they're going to integrate those and make sure that this that the Warmachine product continues and actually benefits from what they have available to them. So I think that sounds good. They say expanding the game's reach. We want to share this game with as many people as possible. This means implementing a solid marketing strategy to help more gamers discover or rediscover the Iron Kingdoms. Engaging with the community is crucial, as is building support through organized play, events, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's pretty good. I like this one. Beyond this, we're integrating the SFG and Privateer Press teams to synergize. I love that word. synergize on great art, engaging story, and exciting design development. Yeah, so sure, sounds good. Warcaster and Riot Quest. The Iron Kingdom's brand encompasses so many products and games that it makes prioritization essential. So, fancy way of saying, yeah, we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. We're under no illusions that about the scale of the task ahead. So, for the foreseeable future, we're committing to focusing on Warmachine, the Iron Kingdom's RPG, and the Formula P3 Paint. Oh, that's interesting. That's a whole new venture for them. We'll look at some of the other exciting games due in due course, but for now, we're awaiting their time to shine. For Warcaster, Riot Quest in particular, we're in the info gathering phase. You can't make this up. I love these words. Info gathering. Is anyone? I hope some of our viewers are working like corporate marketing or something. Because you must be just loving this. Oh man, info gathering. What does that mean? As in they're trying to see whether it's worth it. What they're really doing is crunching some numbers to see how many of these things sold and whether this is worth even exploring at all. That's my guess. And a waiting time when we could dive deep before any decisions are made. Okay. We've created a space on our Discord, and we'd love to get to know you all, and come give us your feedback, free feedback. Okay, next little bit is I'm gonna try and go through this quicker again. Formula P3 Paint. I don't want to spoil too much yet. I like the candor in this. It's like very honest. But let's say exciting developments are already underway, and we're working with some talented painters on developments for this range. So this one's interesting for us because we sell, and we know, and we use, and we're kind of the store, at least in our area here, as the paint store, because I don't know, all the paint ranges you can think of. I have them. I've got Army Painters, Citadel, Pro Acryl, several Verleos, AK, Extended AK, Scale 75. I had Speed Paint. I got Express Color. Oh man, I've got oil paint. I've got Chimera, drop paint, ammo MIG, dry brush paint. Like I have all of them. And so what I'm curious is, how does P3 wedge its way into this pie and be relevant or matter? I don't know. I know a lot of comments and a lot of people. There's a lot of fans of P3 Paint, and there's nothing wrong with that. P3 was designed in its era. It was an advanced product. However many years ago that was, 10, 15 plus years ago, it was like kind of the next. They set the guys. I think it was one of the GW McVeigh or whatever. I recall. I could be wrong. This guy was like a true hobbyist and professional who was like, we're going to make a great paint range. And at that time, it was great. I think the paint is still good. I don't want to poo-poo it and say don't use it. I think if you're a fan of a certain paint, that's awesome. Paint is a much more personal thing. I find you can love or hate a game or love and hate a model, but the paint is like, if you get used to a paint, use that paint because it gets your models done. I just don't know. This is me being brutally honest. Like, I have no idea if a relaunched P3 paint will move the needle. Like, what are they good? Like, there's so much good paint, and I think some brands like Vallejo, Army Painter, and Citadel, for example, they can take advantage of just being around. They never fell off, whereas P3 kind of fell off a bit. Like, it's just not, at least around here again in the Greater Toronto area, and the like dozens of LGSs in this area, serving the 10 million people that live here. It's just not a thing. Distributors don't really carry it as much. It doesn't sell as well. There's not a lot of stores with full racks of it, etc. So I don't know. And there's other paint lines that I actually I know I kept waxing on how much paint I have, but there are some that even then I still don't bring in because I don't have space for it, and I don't know what the return is on it. But it's not a bad product. Things like too thin coats, so Duncan's paint. How does P3 unseat that in the, if you want to call that the, like, I don't know, indie paint, people that maybe just quietly paint at home and are fans of Duncan specifically. I don't know how it wedges that out. Or Pro Acryl, which is kind of the rising star because they it's a rare American made paint. It's a whole other video, but it's behind. It's a good product with a massive marketing push, and it's like the hotness and everyone loves it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say on P3. I hope it's good. And maybe it does find a way on the shelf. I don't know. Iron Kingdoms RPG. So they go is the next up for the RPG is the Strange Light Workshop Kickstarter, already teased by Private Press, which we'll have more news on in the next couple of weeks. But I think that's something they're going to push really hard because they are already, as I mentioned in today's video earlier, that is a big thing in their pipe is their RPG products, their Epic Encounters, their what do you call it, Local Legends products. Matt Hart, one of the co-founders, is I mean, they both are, him and the other gentleman. I forget the other gentleman. They are big RPG guys, and I think their strategy since the Guild Ball days has been to design products that will be evergreen in every store. Like D&D and RPG products tend to be that way because they kind of like, if an edition changes, it's still not good. It's still not bad. Like 5th Ed's still a big thing. It's not changing. It's not going away. D&D doesn't, go make these massive changes quickly. It's kind of like years and years. So stores don't mind carrying it. It kind of does its thing and doesn't really get outdated. Yep. So I think that the Iron Kingdoms RPG is a big focus. So next thing, our vision for Warmachine specifically, our vision is pretty simple. We want a game that appeals to a broad range of gamers, be casual, competitive, or hobbyist. So that goes back to Chris's spiel about the pillars of the hobby, and looks like that they're acutely aware of that. The dream, I like that, is one of fully painted armies. Ooh, I should underline that. I'm gonna come back to that. Fully painted armies. I'm gonna circle it. Yeah. Facing off across beautifully designed tables, played at multiple points levels, fostering new friendships, creating great memories of fun and exciting games. So that is again very nice to hear from the now parent company that moved in and took over the house that Private Press once occupied and is now living in the basement of. So that is nice. That I like that. That's like they knew that would be important. On a personal level, supporting the painting hobby and casual side is key to communal growth in balance and competitive play. Seeing awesome looking miniatures on the tabletop is one of the greatest organic advertisements you can get for a miniatures game. That's true. You see beautifully painted armies on a demo table, you just want to interact with it. And that's something we want to support and encourage. So expects lots of painted mini pictures for me and the team, as well as hobby tutorials and videos. Awesome. Okay. Next thing, this is kind of something that we asked for in our video, and we'll ask, and we do have another video. I know you're gonna be so sick of this Warmachine content, right? Like, it's like day after day. But it gets views. We have a video that we made. It's gonna probably go up next week. It has to do with kind of just like a little wish list that Chris and I had, and this is kind of in it. Thanks for spoiling it, guys. New 2-player starter set. So in the announcement, we shared a tease of some brand new models for Signar Storm Legion and Khador Winter Corps. Gotta have red versus blue in there. These models will feature in a new 2-player command starter set planned for later this year. Well, that's sooner than thought. So this like acquisition was probably in the works quite a while. And this usually are, right? When the announcement comes in, well, you already, like, the ink is fresh on the paper and we've already done all this diligence. More details on gameplay will story. Here's what I can share with you right now without getting murdered by marketing. This 2-player starter will be manufactured in hard plastic known as acronym HIPS. Because it's for 2 players. That includes 2 warcasters, 2 character warjacks, 2 character solos, 2 character units, and terrain all in one box, providing an ideal entry point. See, that's exciting. I'm happy. I would be happy to put this on the shelf today if I had it in my hands. I think that's awesome. I already know, based on their previous products, that the quality will be great, the price will be fair, and I can, comfortably put it in someone's hands and say you're going to enjoy this because it has everything you need in it. So I like that. That's I'm gonna put a check mark on that. So they definitely we're aware of this. So, and then we get into what's next. Basically, they're gonna just go into some details about the finalization of this acquisition, updates on several upcoming pre-orders that have already been announced. So basically, just trying to remind you, hey, everything's going on business as normal with the current with whatever was already in the pipe. The site transition monumental task the team is currently working on. We had originally said at the end of this week, but assessing progress, blah blah blah. It'll take a little longer. And then they get into some FAQs. So here we go. I like this headline here. It says moving forward with Warmachine. As a closing note, as some of you may have noticed, we've moved away from the Mark IV tag. It's like Chris and I literally just said this earlier today. Aren't we just like so smart? So they're basically going forward, we'll simply call it Warmachine. Hallelujah. Brilliant. This isn't a change to the rules or gameplay. It is clear directional change that will benefit from the game in the future. Warmachine has been through a lot of additions, and those additions have become the focus. With this change, we're returning focus to the game as a whole, the Iron Kingdoms, and its evolving storyline. And we want to thank you, blah, blah, blah. So the keeping the name, dropping the mark, I think that's great. Let's just, it's like, it should be, if they want it to be this real thing, and obviously a lot of people have collected and played this game, we should just be referred to as Warmachine. Let's drop the mark. Let's not make people think about what editions what. And obviously they've taken stock of the rule set and said this is solid. The rules are good, so we'll keep the core rules the way they are, and we'll just kind of do our own little changes. And I think a lot of it is going to come from the model kits, the packaging, the marketing, and I think that's really mostly what it needed. More so than getting into the nitty gritty with the rules things. So, and I'll just address a couple of these FAQs, like just kind of off the cuff. I have not read this at all. I'm just, as in previously, I'm just kind of going through it. So, one of them is there going to be a new edition of Warmachine, or will the current edition continue? Basically says current edition will continue as planned. That's it. Will the transition cause a delay to the planned releases? We'll have more details once sales reopen sometime next week. Are you leaving direct resin? Ooh, I like addressing that. We and Privateer Press are partnering to continue producing the Warmachine product using PP's current direct resin process, as well as expanding with new partners in the UK and Europe. So sounds like, I don't know, sounds like they're not going to change anything right now, because it's like so fresh. It's like I said, they just moved into the house, and they're like, they're still unloading furniture, and they're like, this is a big project. It's like, I still got to get all this other. I got another truck coming with more furniture and stuff to take over your rooms, and I just want to, it's like 10 p.m. I want to go to bed, so I'm just gonna sleep in your bed, Privateer Press. You can sleep on the floor. That's basically what's happening. Oh, I like this too. It says, there was another line here. It says, this is regarding the direct resin. It's an excellent vehicle and modern approach to delivering product. Yeah, sure. What range will go to hips? So that's the new plastic, or their plastic, sorry, that they like to use. To begin with, focusing on the command starter sets. They're a great way to introduce new players. We want to make sure that we're supporting that journey for both players and retailers. We'll still be supporting the direct resin as an important route. Yeah, so again, they're going to pick and choose, because it's a little more of an investment to change the material. Sometimes you have to remake the model, because of the mold or whatever they used to make the mold can't handle the other material, the plastic or whatever, because of heat, pressure, etc. So that's probably why I have a feeling only new models will become hips, and old stuff or current stuff in the pipe they'll keep making in resin until they slowly phase it out. It's my guess. How quickly will you go into hips? I love that people keep at. Hey, what about hips? Is a long time a lead time for the setup to manufacture. I just said this, for manufacturing the frame overseas. It'll take some time to get this new process in place, but from the release of the first set later this year, you'll see more on this front as we continue to grow the hips range. And then the last couple of small bits, housekeeping. Will SFG and offer STL files? Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh, although we don't have plans for STLs widely available, we're always looking at new ways customers are interacting with war games in the tabletop space. For example, more people having access to 3D printers allowed us to release STL files for a free starter set for Guild Ball. That free starter set was wildly popular and a great route for new players to get into the game. That's a nice way, how to put it. They're trying not to be like, we don't like 3D printing and we're a business. So it's just really kind of skirting this. There's a lot of legal kind of way of saying. I think the idea is if they're in the business of making models, they don't. I mean, most of the bigger miniature companies don't make STLs or sell them, because their whole business is the use by the minis they made with their higher grades of technology, etc. All the work they put in designing the models and the rules, etc. So I think we probably need to revisit the 3D printing topic again. We did a video way back, TLDR. Chris and I think that they're useful tools in the hobby space, but they're not taking over necessarily, or a path to revenue necessarily for if you're a miniature making company. It's just kind of how it is. So anyway, I'm sure I'll get flamed in the comments, but that is what it is. Where can influencers reach out? Maybe this is for me, obviously, about Warmachine and Steamforged games. Please send inquiries to press@steamforged.com. Okay, you hear maybe, probably not, but if I have a broken or miscast part, send him to our support hub. No address. Fair enough. I have thoughts and ideas about Warmachine gameplay. Where do I send my feedback? I love it. That I should also send things. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I should be copying and pasting the comments from these videos and put it and just sending them as an aggregate and see what they say. Anyway, so that's more or less the end of this. Actually, I didn't even include everything. There's some more bits and bobs, but I just wanted to handle that. So anyway, yeah, if you want to continue the discussion, let us know. I just thought it would be good to kind of go over the news today and give some of my quick fire thoughts. Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing process. I think we're going to see it's going to be a little bit zero dark 30 on this front for the next little while, as everything is really fresh right now, and it takes a lot of time. It's going to take time. I think once this new starter box comes out, I think is the next time you'll see a big push. It sounds like they're going to continue to. They'll probably do something cool at a Gen Con later this summer. But overall, the takeaway is, look, they know what they've got a plan, and but they're also going to take a very slow, methodical approach, and I think that's good. Why not take your time, make sure you do it right, do it good, get all the feedback. There's a lot of care being put into this so-called re-release of the Warmachine or Privateer Press and its properties. So I honestly, I'm optimistic. I think it's in good hands, and I think 12-18 months from now, you will see some little budding Warmachine sections and maybe more stores again. So maybe some of the stores that have been around for a while, or maybe we'll dip back into it. Maybe some new stores will be happy to put it on the wall, and yeah, I think this is a turning point. I think next year, Adepticon especially, or maybe LVO, whatever the next big gaming. I mean, I guess maybe Nova's too soon. I think that's in the summer in Washington, but whatever the next, I'd probably LVO. I think you're gonna get a good indicator if this is working. So anyway, that's me for today. Subscribe, check out our Patreon in the description, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye.